Well, hello, everybody. It's 5 o'clock on May 30th, and welcome to World Politics on the Pod TV network. For those who are viewing us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Roku, the television stations on Roku, wherever you are around the world, we have The Verdict is In on World Politics, which we're going to be getting to right away. But before we get into it, we want to make sure that our viewers around the world get to know some of the panelists that are going to be here. And Mark will not be here, and Steve will not be here on one of the most exciting days around. So it's left to me and Miss Kim Calhoun, who founded the network. And so we're here defending whatever's going on. And also we have a special guest that you have not seen, at least it's the first time I know he's been on the Pod TV network. So bring him on right now. Roger Friedman, how you doing?
Great,
Roger.
Thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing great, but I'm always doing great. So that's me, you know. Let's talk about you a little bit. Well, where are you from? I mean, what city are you beaming in from?
Well, I'm originally from Manhattan. Haven't been there in a very, very long time. I lived in Maryland, the outskirts of DC for about 30 odd years, raised a family there, moved down to Florida about 3 years ago, and I'm enjoying it like crazy. I'm glad to be out of Maryland.
Okay. Yeah, you're on my hunt. So we go to this question of Florida because Florida is like the largest state east of the Mississippi. So the question is, where in Florida?
I'm near Tampa Bay.
Okay, Tampa Bay is a big conversation since I'm originally from the Tampa Bay area. So we got to narrow this scope further.
Well, when I'm in
where
my office,
in Tampa?
I'm in my office. I look out on Clearwater Beach and the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, all right.
And I go right down 60 to home in Safety Harbor, right on Old Tampa Bay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you're on are you on the bay side or the beach side?
The bay side.
The bay side. Okay. So you're near where the original Hooters was started.
I passed by one on the way to work. Yes, I didn't know.
Well, if you passed by the one on State Road 60, that was the first Hooters.
That's it. I pass by it every morning.
Okay. Anyway, I have 2,000 relatives in the city. I was telling young Kim that, I have 75 first cousins, and my mother has 110 first cousins. Get the picture. And we settled here in 1868, including founding cities such as San Antonio and St. Joe, which is north of where you're at. So I will be in Tampa June 6th through the 9th.
I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
And they don't show my little thing up here because we got the jury verdict in, but I'm also a member of the Florida Bar for 40 years. So that doesn't mean I go drinking. It means that. But I also go to your city, Manhattan, quite often. I usually go there twice a year to get my New York fix because
I try to stay away from it as best I can.
Well, I need my New York fix, especially if you grew up in Florida.
Is that cheesecake or a steak?
No, it's actually, I usually stay up at the Warwick Hotel on, I think it's like 55th Street or 57th Street or something like that, close by there, and hang out, go to the Tavern on the Green and the Russian Tea Room and what do they call it, Carnegie Diner.
Those are all the places I wasn't allowed to go to. My dad owned laundry at 45th and 6th, and I would all walk around and do all the laundry deliveries.
Oh, really? Okay. So now we know a little bit about who you are. So what do you do?
I'm a retirement strategist and financial advisor for almost 40 years.
Really?
Used to be with Morgan Stanley as a senior VP. Left about 10 years ago.
Right.
And I'm at a smaller company now, and I love what I do. And I enjoy the people I work with, and it provides a lot of satisfaction.
So are you Series 6, Series 7?
I'm Series everything. I'm Series
26? Are you 26, a principal,
huh? Principal, no. I used to be the old branch manager under the New York Stock Exchange rules.
Okay.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, okay. I got it. All right. So you did the financial thing for a while, and then you blew off New York and came to Florida. Right. Or most people come to Florida for 3 reasons. You're escaping bad weather, bad marriages, or bad finances. So which one was yours? I won't go into that.
I wanted to lower my taxes, and I wanted to get out of a blue state. And also, I had one of those McMansions, and I had 2 kids out of the house. So my wife and I looked around the house and said, we don't need a big house anymore.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, you can certainly downsize in the greater Tampa Bay area, which is pretty cool. And you get to, if you get to overlook the water, that's really
Exactly.
Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
So, so now you also do financial work. What are we doing here on a political show? How'd you get here?
I'll tell you. So I've written 7 books,
Okay.
most of them on money, but
Yeah.
this latest book is called Erasing America: Broken Politics, Broken Country.
Really? Okay.
Yes, and basically, I'd read the paper, every week.
The New York Times?
No, I cannot bear to read the New York Times anymore, although I did
The
grow up with the
Washington
news of the
Post?
Times. I can't bear to watch it. No.
Okay.
But anyway,
Ooh,
it got to the point where every week I would send an email to my closest friends and colleagues and family saying, "Did you see the article about fill in the blank?" And it was about a page every week, and everyone seemed to love it. And then
Right.
it dawned on me that I could not keep it to one page, and made it around 1,500 words. And
Right.
I did that every week for the better part of a year.
Okay.
And then my lovely sister said, "Roger, this has the makings of a book."
Okay.
And I looked at her, I said, "You're right."
Okay. Well, the thing is that then, see, we actually we didn't show that, but we actually do resell books with Amazon on the Pod TV network. So
Okay.
look that below. But we have to get you approved on that, which means
Oh, I know.
basically I got to get Mark to put you on our
Sure. I was a
bookstore.
bestseller on Amazon for, I don't know,
Really?
9 days, 12 days, something like that.
You mean this particular book, the
Yes,
political book?
this book. Yes.
Okay, right. Yeah. We've also had Pulitzer Prize winner David K. Johnson, who you probably know. He's on our shows a lot. And also Bill Denko, who wrote the book The Millionaire Next Door. If you haven't seen that.
William Danko, he wrote it along with
Gosh, who was it? Tom Stanley?
Dr. Tom Stanley,
Dr.
who
Tom
passed
Stanley.
away
Well,
some years back.
right.
Living in
Yeah, they started off in '84. They wrote the book. It was called
I read all their books.
Yes. Really? Marketing the Affluent was his first
Yes.
one that came out.
I read them all.
Okay, well, Bill is a regular on our network. So the
Yeah.
thing is, he's not going to be.
They were my Bibles as I was coming
That's
up in
great.
the industry. You might remember a name, E.F. Hutton.
Of course.
That's where I started.
Oh, really? You started E.F. Hutton. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, of course I know E.F. Hutton. Yeah. I've been working with the financial services industry for 40 years now.
Okay.
So I do know when I started my law practice, I started doing estate planning in Florida.
Okay.
And our offices were in Fort Myers, Naples, Palm Beach, and Boca Raton. So you can't get a better start.
Nice work if you can get it. Kim, do you remember the name E.F. Hutton? You're too young.
Yeah, I don't know. She's trying to get the verdict out of the judge.
Ah.
So that we're just, they've been given, so 20 minutes ago, the jury was given 30 minutes to fill out the verdict forms. That they have come to a final conclusion. As you know, that they came out earlier today and requested to review again some of the testimonies that were given and to have the law reread to them. People were just making assumptions about what the jury was thinking when they were asking for these things. And it appeared to be looking at a particular part of Cohen's testimony and comparing it to Pecker's. So, and they, both had stated in there that it was definitely Donald Trump's idea to call the meeting, that they all gathered together to discuss what they were going to do. So that was the part of the testimony that they had called back and requested to review. And then they asked for the law to be read to them again. As well as they wanted to understand without a reasonable doubt. So, because the judge said that this, so anyway, but not to downplay your story because I really want to hear it, but my system keeps going down. So that's why I dive out, not to really go look at the jury, but I think all of the systems are down right now because everyone is waiting to hear. This has consumed our lives Like,
The internet's
unfortunately, I
going
mean,
to
I haven't
explode.
watched any of
It's
it.
historic. Oh yeah, tomorrow
Yeah, I mean,
will be a firestorm on all the
War
internet.
of the Worlds, right? I'm
Yeah,
expecting War of the Worlds. You know,
We
the
live in
aliens have
interesting
landed.
times.
yeah.
Well,
It'll light up
definitely
the
no,
media no
not.
matter what happens. I mean, it'll
I
light up the
think
media.
all of this has put all the TV writers out of business because all anyone does now is just watch trial. You know, here they were worried about getting a pay raise. I think now they need to worry about, you know, if all of this continues with Trump, they're going to be put right out of business
It's
because
kind of like the
literally there
OJ
is
trial.
nothing
Yeah, well, it's going to be a
right. You
historic
know,
moment no
we
matter
get
what.
so
So,
consumed in the drama, right? And so consumed in the sex and death and murder. And, you know, it's
Kim,
like the
Kim,
president of
you know what it
CBS told
reminds
Nick
me
and
of?
I one time, if it don't bleed, it don't bleed.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
You remember when OJ was going down the road, the highway, and all the
yeah,
police were chasing him, and they
yeah.
were all chasing him at 40 miles an hour. And I remember watching the television, and it was like 2 hours of following him in his
Yeah.
car. And
Right.
100 million people were watching
Well,
television
it's
of
with
people on the
Broncos.
highway following each other.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at it, no matter what happens to the
I
historic
know,
verdict,
sitting on the edge
first time
of their
president has been
seats.
indicted, you know. But the wheels of justice turn slow, so it looks
I
like
know,
even though
it's
the verdict is
amazing.
in, it's going to take a while for them
And this
to
is from an
tell us.
attorney, no less.
Tell us when it is. Well, you bill by the hour, and so you want to drag out as many hours as you can before you get that verdict in, buddy. So you know, take your time. Take your time.
Right.
You know, some
Bill
go
and
out.
Sue, that's your favorite two friends right there.
Bill and Sue are my
Bill and
favorite.
Sue.
Right, Bill and Sue. Okay, and usually I work with Bill, but
I mean, Nick
hey,
and I have worked together
fine too.
for years, so you know, we can pick on each other.
Yeah.
But this is, you know, it's interesting to me to hear all of the, you know, people who've been getting on and reading the summations, you know, their opinions, and you know, it's there was no sense in watching any of this for me until like the last 2 days. And wait until, because you don't know how a
I don't
jury's
watch any of
going
it.
to. You
Right.
can't predict a jury. You just can't. I mean, that's why I tell people I watch that TV show Bowl too much to know. No, you literally cannot predict a jury. It's just, and
Well, I mean,
and
that's
there,
what
and I
I mean. A lot of
and
attorneys
the
say,
only thing you do is be prepared with your appeals. That's all I can say. You
yeah,
know,
I mean,
just
that's the reason
have
you
your
settle
appeals ready to
cases.
file the minute.
You settle most cases. Actually, in
Yeah.
civil trials right now, less than 5% cases ever reach a jury. Now I'm talking civil, because the attorneys will settle the case prior rather than roll the dice on a jury. And there's enough case law and facts that you don't need to go to a jury. Now it's civil law. Now this is criminal law. Criminal law is a whole different cat, and they end up in the jury pools a lot. And so he ended up, unfortunately, rolling, or the dice was rolled in his direction. But it is historic because no president, to my knowledge, has ever been indicted, and certainly none have ever been convicted.
And not on something such as this.
Yeah, right. So this is going to be a major verdict, which also could make a big difference.
This is so funny though, because occasionally I have my favorite people I like to watch to give reviews myself, and you know, they're down to the micro dot with him, like, and they're, you know, Trump is sitting in the courtroom, and you know, of course, his son is sitting behind him, you know,
not boring.
and he just took something out of his pocket, he put it in his mouth, and I'm like, really, people? Okay, let's get a real job.
And he's wearing his gold watch. Yes, yes.
Right. He took something out of his pocket and he put it in his mouth. I mean, okay.
Oh, cyanide.
That's just a little too much. But, you know, I just want to hear the verdicts. I wish.
Come on, Nick,
you know,
be nice.
But,
you know, I am being nice.
But it's funny to me because he's an attorney. He doesn't know how.
yeah. You know, I mean, the thing is, the reality, if anybody sat.
But I'll tell you what, if I hired one, it would be Nick.
Boring. What? You know why the verdict is in? The jury wants to go home. They're like
Well,
sick
you
and
know,
tired of
he's
it. Now, figured out what it is.
fallen asleep
But
plenty
but
of
I know our
times in his own
prediction of a
trial.
hung jury is out the door.
Well, I'm
So it's not going to
waiting.
be a
Well,
hung
you know,
jury.
they
but
have
it will
to
be a
read.
decision.
They have to read all 37, right? And I
Yeah.
don't know because they're filling out verdict forms. So I don't know. Are they having to state who voted which way
This
for
is New
each
York City. I'm
37?
sure
So
they're
I
going
mean,
to
they could
find
be
him
there for
guilty.
4 hours if that's the
Surprising
case.
anything gets done
So
in the Manhattan courtroom.
That's
Yeah.
why
I
I
mean,
left New York
are
City.
they're going to have to read for
Yeah.
each
So did Jeff
indictment,
Bezos.
and then right.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
I have, you know,
Okay, so
one
what
way or the other would have
century
been
are they going
faster.
to fill out their jury forms and get this thing over with? Eh?
Well, and
Yeah.
I mean, something that you have to look at, just like the O.J. Simpson case, which nobody will ever forget. This is one of those trials that has made history. And some of the things that have bothered me is like so much misinformation and things taken out of context, as opposed to just, you know, telling the truth. But I mean, you even have attorneys that are not giving the right information because they just want to, you know, twist things around for propaganda. But
Sure.
you know, when I sit there and I look at, you know, people saying, "Well, the statutory of limits have ran out." Well, the statutory, I don't know that there is a statutory for fraud. I went and reviewed this on another case that I was involved in. I'm not an attorney, but I get involved with a lot of cases, and there
You
is
play
no
one on TV.
statute of limitation where fraud is.
I'm not an attorney, but I play
So,
one on TV.
you know, all of these attorneys going, "Oh, well, they can't do this because the statute." No, there is no statute of limitation for fraud that I'm aware of. Now, you know, and if I were Trump, if I were really innocent and all of these things were thrown at me, I think in a way, instead of fighting it and say, you know, I had full immunity and all of these other things, I would just say, let's just get this damn thing over, right? Let's just do it. So, but you know, and then you got all these things that muddy the water, right? And all that matters at the end of the day is what was really said in that courtroom, not what was relayed back to us, but what was really said, which I've had the privilege to be able to listen to a full courtroom this past year. It's all very boring, but when you really pay attention, there's a lot of information that comes through that, you know, there are some good attorneys out there. So I thought, based on some of the things I heard, that both sides did a very good job. There was a lot of preparation. I'm not going to put down either side. I'm not, because they had a very interesting trial to put forth, but it was a circus. It was a
Well, there was a
circus.
huge amount
I
of
mean, it got to the
articles.
point I didn't want to hear about all the sex. I really, you know,
Right.
come on, you know.
Kim,
So
Kim,
I
there
think
were a
they
hu-
cut it out.
there was a huge amount of articles that the judge.
Yeah, did he write the check? Was it for business that like it?
There was a huge amount of
Yeah,
articles that the judge was not doing things properly, that he did not let certain evidence in. Dershowitz commented on it. Some other famous attorneys and constitutional law scholars commented on it. And you're right, it was a circus and it was a media spectacle. And it makes a lot of fodder for the media to really just light themselves on fire and pull their hair out. And we shall see. I'm sure that they found him guilty
right.
because it was
I mean,
preordained.
it's
Well, Vegas
and we're
odds say that he
sitting
was
in
guilty, but
there.
that's Vegas, you know.
Right.
Let's see if
like I said,
they started reading the verdicts. But
have they read
Nick
the
might
verdict?
have better access because he is a lawyer.
I have no more access than anybody.
Well, sentencing date is set for July 11th. So
what?
Yeah, it says the sentencing date has been set for July 11th. Trump's attorney, Todd Blanche, moved for an acquittal of the charges, notwithstanding the verdict.
He's not going to get that granted.
Blanche says there's no way the jury could reach the verdict without the testimony of Michael Cohen, and the defense believes Cohen committed perjury, which, okay, so, you know, they say, you know, Cohen lied about his wife. Cohen lied
telling you.
about this. Cohen
He
lied
lied
about
about
that.
mostly everything.
You know what? Trump lied about to his wife. Trump lied about this. Trump lied about his books. Trump hired a liar to take care of these lies. So it's all lies. They're all. But here's my problem. This is the person the Republican Party chose to run as our president. And when I go out of the country and travel, I get hit with a lot of, are you guys a complete idiots? I just really want to move. I want to leave. It's sad because this is the best we can produce. Everyone says, oh, well, it's not Trump's fault. Yeah, it is. He did lie. He did hire somebody for sex. He did try to cover it up.
Well, Kim,
is
if
that
you want
the
to
man
leave,
you
I'll
want for
drive you to the
president?
airport.
Well, apparently so.
Kim, if you want to leave, I'll drive you to the airport. There is no place that duplicates America. You could live in Costa Rica. You could live anywhere else, but you're not going to get the constitutional protections anywhere but America.
Oh, there are a lot. There are a lot of places that are better because I've been doing nothing but traveling around the world.
And what are you still
and
doing
spending
here?
a lot of time in each place. And there are places with better medical care. There are places with better medical care, better, smarter medical care, because I have to have treatments. So yeah, and cheaper, more affordable. There are a lot more respect, less crime. I mean, that's something I was talking with one of my brothers about who lives in other countries. He travels a lot, but he's actually moving permanently. And he said the same thing. He said the medical care is so much better here, but he said, I don't hear about guns being shot every day and somebody being killed every day. I don't hear the sirens. And I was just somewhere a lot more affordable, and I never heard a police siren the whole time I was there. Never. So, they're tougher on crimes. They do get executed for dealing drugs, but yeah, I mean, but it's not perfect in the country.
The verdict is in. He's guilty of all counts and all 34 counts.
So the verdict did come in, and it looks like they've requested a sentencing.
Yeah. So tomorrow.
But I don't need anyone to drive me to the airport. Thank you for offering. I have
no disrespect,
my own
but if you don't like to hear,
transportation.
you should leave.
I'm blessed. So,
well, he's guilty of all 34 counts.
Trust me, I'm looking.
All 34 counts. So it's
oh my gosh. I know tomorrow's going to be a lot of interesting people.
Oh, tomorrow it's going to light up social media.
All 34. That, you know what?
Yeah,
the fact that they asked certain evidence to be reread, they were looking for the criminal aspect of what happened. Yeah. For certain things to have been reread, they were looking, and I know what it is. It was the fact that he went and called the meetings. He called the meetings. So that's probably what put him to a guilty verdict, was that made him the conspirator. But what I'd like to see happen in this country is right. Yeah, that gave the intent.
His only chance he gets a favorable ruling on appeal and get it reversed. But this one was the one.
Yeah, but Nick, can he really start time for this? This is such
he's got a 25%.
This is such a white collar crime. Can he?
It's a 25% chance on reversal. So there's always that possibility.
I'm sure they've already started the appeal.
75% chance that this verdict sticks in, and he's stuck with it. So that's how important the trial is. So I thought he would hire better trial attorneys, because I think even Shaquille had a better argument that he was relying on counsel, and he had an attorney there that was licensed, and the attorney should have said if there's a law violation, he stuck up and said something. They never really pounded that as a defense. So, but
he never testified.
Hire
right?
really
He
bad
didn't
attorneys.
testify.
I've looked at their CVs; they're just not that good. And so he gets the results like this. He gets horrible results because he hires horrible people. Good law firms won't work for him because he stiffs them. So they want to get, remember Bill and
I
Sue?
see
Bill
that
and Sue.
happen. Bill and Sue. I've seen
Yeah.
that happen so many times where the defendant just they don't let them testify and they get this guilty, but they never, to me that's worse, because then they never got to give their story, they never got to give their point of view or word. So I've seen that happen many times where your defense thinks it's better for you not to, but honestly I think a jury will respect you more if you do testify. I just do. I believe that a jury would have respected him more if he testified. But
Yeah, but
we'll see what
he's not
happens.
being very
It's
good.
not over. It's Trump. It's not over. And his fans and his worshipers, they're all like, I'm surprised they haven't burned the White House down. I'm really waiting for that to happen. Oh, you did this to Trump. I mean, I have to be careful because of where I live. They might come burn my house down. I get lots of threats every day because I just, because I think he's a complete joke as our president. I think we can do better. That's my whole problem is I think that we are such a highly intelligent superpower country that we should have done better for two choices.
Okay, well,
That's my opinion.
When I was in college, I went around collecting degrees. So I went to University of South Florida to get my MBA, and then I had to go to, I got to give them a plug, University of Miami for my law degree. I got to give you, and then my alum from University of Denver. So I wanted to collect degrees. Trump likes to collect things too, but they're just a little different. And so he's collected his latest, I wouldn't call it degree diploma, but moniker. And here it is. Convicted felon equals Donald Trump.
Now he's got
two
what I consider pretty bad guilty convictions: sexual abuse or assault, which the judge actually said that he believed it to be rape, but because the way the laws are defined, which we know, that they don't do laws to protect women when it comes to rape. But they, the judge considered what he did as rape, but the laws, the way they're written, does not. And
yeah, it becomes interesting whether the Republican Party stay with this as their candidate. Do they have anything?
Oh yeah, you know what? This is gas on an atom bomb. That's already ignited. This is
sitting out there. I don't know.
It might be a little late in the game to find another candidate.
No, they have Nikki Haley. She's a suitable candidate. Really in the convention.
How about Marjorie Greene?
Wait a minute. Is this who you're going to offer?
Marjorie hate women Greene. Marjorie Greene, would love to take all women's rights away from them.
Republicans, wake up. Is this going to be your candidate? Is this the best you can do? Seriously.
Ben Shapiro.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Ben
it is.
Shapiro.
A convicted sexual assaulter and now a convicted felon of fraud. I mean, come on, let's go. I think they're eating this up. They feel so sorry for him.
Well, I think the biggest difference is that Biden is not yet convicted of anything.
That's true. That's really very, very sad. So he gets to run as if this keeps going on.
But they say it's because he's a Democrat that he gets away with crime. But, the most I've seen is, the Republicans who stormed the White House, that was a pretty bad crime, if you ask me.
If the Democrats were
I see a lot of people getting away on both sides, to be honest with you. I think we need to get rid of both parties.
Never have come to light. They would never have been investigated. If the Democrats were still in control of the House, there would have been no investigations whatsoever.
Yeah, but the thing is, we do have to look at reality as it sits today. If you're
I disagree with you on that because I work with, I don't do news for a living, but but my career got me into a lot of doors, and I've met a lot of people, and it wasn't through TV, but I disagree with you on that. They just cover up everything, and then when the little light comes out, then they start panicking, and then they start leaking news. And controlling it. They just like they're doing with Karen McDougal, which she's not letting them do now. She's taking control of the story.
How are the Republicans going to cover this one up? This is like square now in your face. This is your candidate.
Well, because
Okay.
they're going to
No,
say
not
that
whether
the
you like it or
judge
not.
didn't let
No.
him present. Right. They're gonna do the same thing they always do. Cry and whine. They're going to spread
doesn't
fear
matter.
and blame, and that's how he runs his campaign. This is all a bigger campaign blow up for him too. I mean, trust me, he'll be sitting in prison, and the Republicans will still vote for him. He'll
The
be sitting in
American public,
prison, and they
I
will
have no
still vote
faith in
for
the
him.
American voters. They get what they
the
deserve.
American
So we shall see what happens.
the Republicans
either.
and the Republicans and Democrats do not elect the president of the United States. It's
I agree.
elected by independent voters from
I mean, we
swing
got-
states. Okay, so let's get off the
We
Democrats and
got
Republicans.
two
Get rid of them.
pathetic people.
Yeah, but the Democrats
can't
and
the
Republicans
people put
do
somebody-
not elect the president.
Why
The
can't we
Democrats
just
sit
vote
over here,
somebody
the
in
Republicans
office
sit
that's
over there. The person who elects the president are
why can't
independent
we just
voters
vote
from
a
swing
party without why can't we just vote without a party? Why can't we just put a human in office?
we have to
clean
deal
out
with the
the house?
reality as it sits today. Here's the reality. The
Right.
Republicans
You know
and
what? Maybe
Democrats
it would have
do
been a
not
good
elect
thing if
the
Trump's plan worked and the house burned down.
president. The Republicans and Democrats do not elect the president. Who elects the president is independent voters from swing states. So those are the ones you're going to have to address. Here's your candidate. Okay.
No, that's not true,
That
Nick.
is not good.
That's
That
not
is
true
definitely
because
not
the
good.
last few presidents were done by electoral.
Yeah,
The
but
last few presidents were not
they
voted by
elected- They were all elected
people. They were voted by
independent
electoral.
voters in swing states that
I think we
move
need to get
toward-
rid of electoral. Then maybe we'll get.
Yeah, but
I
again, it was on the last election, it was the swing states and the independent voters that swung the election to Joe Biden.
Right.
Yeah,
Kim, are
before
you
that,
saying get rid of the Electoral College just like Elizabeth Warren was saying back in 2019?
Yeah, but you know, those are all hypothetical.
I would like to
ways,
see
hey,
the
we should do
people's
this, hey,
vote
we should do
count.
that.
I
You
would like
you
to
have
see
deal with
people's
reality.
voice.
Why are you dealing in
I
dreams?
think we're growing up enough.
Why deal in dreams? You
Well,
got to deal in reality.
but hear me out on this. How many elections have we gone through and the people's voice didn't matter?
Who cares?
The
I mean, the thing is,
electoral vote
no,
went against the people's vote.
Kim,
How many
why don't
elections-
you pick up a copy of the Federalist Papers, read Federalist number 10 that James Madison penned back in the 1700s that talks about the Electoral College and why it is there. And then I will debate you for 1 hour on the pros and cons of the Electoral College versus one person, one vote. How do you like that?
Well,
I did
we
re-
can
I did
debate
read
it.
deal.
but I'm going to tell you
We
right
have a
now,
deal.
he penned that how many years ago?
Do we
I
have
think
a
our
deal?
country's grown up a little bit.
Do we have a deal?
I think we've matured. I think we're matured enough where we don't need electoral
Yeah, I don't think
votes.
we've
I don't think
matured
we
all that
need.
much.
I don't want another man turning my vote around. A man too. I don't care who does it. I don't want anyone else turning my vote
I would
around.
be very,
But
very
we have
happy
yet
with
to.
the woman
We
as
have not.
president.
One person, one vote is the way it should be. And you know
No,
what? Most
they-
countries work that way. Most
They
countries work
specifically
very well
did
that
not
way.
want majority rule. If you read the Federalist Papers, that's what they're talking about. These are the founders of our country that said
But the
exactly
majority-
the opposite of what you're saying.
You're-
And they
you're-
said it
when,
for a
when-
reason.
when you're talking about the founders of your country,
So why bother
you're talking
voting?
about my 17th
Why
grade
bother? Why
grandfather.
bother voting?
Who
Why do
signed
we
the
have?
You're both
Why
talking
do
at
we?
the same time, and
Why
I
do
can't
we even
understand.
have all of this circus? Oh yeah, sorry, Nick and I talk a lot. Why do you even bother having this circus if you're just going to let the electoral pick? Why do we even bother going to vote? Why?
I didn't turn it into a circus, but I
If you're
know
not
that
going to
every
let
vote
the
counts.
people's vote matter,
I know that every vote
Every
counts,
vote
and I'm not the
doesn't
one that
count.
turned it into a circus. Nick, what did you want to say?
If you're talking about the Electoral College, you're talking about the Federalist Papers and the Declaration of Independence that was signed by my 17th great grandfather, who I'm a direct descendant of. I'm a little bit familiar with it
That's
because-
wonderful.
because our family settled in this area in 1650, which
Okay.
was when you were not the United States of America, you were actually the British America. At
because
that point
they're
in
kicked
time.
out of another country.
Now, with that, you can say all the hypotheticals you want about how it should be. I like to deal with how it is. What is the current reality? What are we looking at? Here's what we're looking at. The Democrats will all vote for the Democrats, the solid Democrat, no matter what happens. Biden could have total dementia. They'll still vote for him. The Republicans are going to vote the Republicans. It doesn't matter. He could be a convicted felon, but that's not who changes the election. It's the independent voters, and not all independent voters. There are no independent voters in New York. They're going to go Democrat no matter what. There are no independent voters in California. They're all going Democrat. There are no independent voters in Utah. They're all going to go Republican. It's going to be in the swing states. And here's the problem. One little thing can make a difference. And this is not a little thing anymore. This is actually a big thing. And here's the question, will an independent voter from the swing state vote for a convicted felon? The answer is probably no, or almost definitely no, which means the Republicans need to put their big boy pants on. And I know that's very sexist, Kim, but they need to put their big boy pants on and get another candidate.
I don't care.
And they
need to get a better candidate.
You raise a very good
If
question.
they got a better candidate,
say, Nikki Haley, you need to be our champion because our king just fell. And just
Nick, here's the point you just made. Will they vote for a convicted felon? If that convicted felon is Donald Trump, who has a huge following,
yes,
who was convicted in a kangaroo court in New York City with what has gone on in a circus trial, I don't think it's as cut and dry as you think.
Not the independents. The independents look at facts as is. And
are you saying that our court system is crooked?
The independents they are not going to drink the Republican Kool-Aid.
I got a question to ask.
Go right ahead.
If they convicted me, would you say it was
jurors just sent this guy down the toilet. He's flushed. So you guys need to get rid of him real soon because you're going to lose.
Go on,
Joe Biden will now win the election. Goodbye. Goodbye, Donald. Goodbye, Republicans.
They're not going to.
Goodbye, United States of America, because Joe Biden will spend more money.
It's kind of.
Oh, I'm leaving America anyway, so I don't really care. So goodbye, the United States of America.
I wish.
But
I wish people could vote independent. Period. I wish people could just vote independent.
I got tired of your party system here, so I registered independent. So I'll go either way based on the facts and circumstances.
I'm registered independent.
Normally, because Trump is.
I wish the people would get a brain and vote.
Normally,
vote
Biden's
a human in office.
Vote for him, and I'm sitting there seriously looking at Trump. But now facts change. Now you don't give me Donald Trump anymore. You give me this. You give me this trash. I'm going back the other way. So that's how independents think. They do not buy party
but
garbage.
You know what
seen before
bothers me is what bothers
you Republican Party just gave me a trash candidate, a damaged goods, and you want me to suck up to it?
Let's talk again on November 6th.
Nope. Not going to do
He'll run. They're not going to take him off the ballot.
Do not do that. So
but you know what bothers me? Any other time that there's a hearing, they don't call it a kangaroo court.
Button and put a serious candidate up front quickly. You don't have much time because this is not a candidate anymore. This is a felon. It's damaged goods, and no, he doesn't have enough time on appeal to get this thing reversed. So he's toast. And
well, it looks like we're going to have a convicted felon for a president, Nick.
No, you won't. He won't. He won't get elected. All the metrics change.
The people are stupid, brainless enough to vote for him. They are. They love him. They love him.
Would you vote for Biden to bring in another 10 million illegals into our country? Kim, I'm asking you the question. Nick, silent, please. Nick, Kim, would you vote for Biden again so that he brings in another 10 million illegals?
I'm voting independent. I wish everybody else would.
Well, you only gave me one candidate.
And why? Why do you just bring up the immigrants and things like that when nobody can really count them?
You now gave me one candidate, so of course I vote for Biden. Okay, because and you know why? It's because you guys lost mine and all the independent votes by putting this clown up as your candidate. So now you got the candidates. All us independent guys, we're out. We're out. Yeah. Forget it. you know. And so the thing is,
You
if you
know,
can't do better than that,
I would
goodbye.
have to say, as extreme as people have gotten on the left and the right, I just want somebody down the middle. I don't want a left or
They
a
have a good
right. I
candidate
want
called Nikki
somebody who can
Haley. They need
Well,
to,
Mark
fly
Lee,
with
what do
both
you
need to
emphasize?
stir up.
wings, you know, because when you fly with one wing, it
Yeah,
kind of spiral out of control.
they have a good
Well, like I
candidate.
Hi,
said, I
Mark.
just came.
Hey,
Hey,
did you
there's
get
that.
it?
Yeah, I just heard the news and
Guilty.
everything because
You
I
see that,
just came
Mark?
back from my eyeglass appointment. So I was actually talking to my mom, and she was telling me that the verdict came in and that he has been found guilty. So now we got to figure out what the sentence is going to be and how it's going to impact the election, if it's
It
going to
doesn't
impact the
matter.
election.
He just
But
lost.
the verdict
He just
is
lost
in.
the
He
election.
just got the
Over.
He's
guilty
sentenced to
verdict.
4 years in the White House.
Well, he'll be a good markup for history, but you can forget.
I'm going to
him
tell you right now,
Goodbye. They got him. They got him.
I got family who will send donations to help bail him out. So, you know, my family is that crazy. They are probably crying right now, boo-hooing, cussing, swearing. I can't go to a family reunion because they'll burn me at the stake. But honestly, yeah, I'm sure that they're all going to send money to him.
Okay. The
What's
next
your take
I'm
on it,
not
Roger?
voting for Biden either. I don't like him.
What's your take on it,
Doesn't
Roger?
matter, Biden-
Just on the
Biden-
candidacies in general.
I'll
whether
put it
it's
this way. I
or
wouldn't
other
vote
ones.
for Adam Lamparello before I'd vote for either one of them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Biden will be the.
You know what
the
bothers me
continuing
though is they just had that
Go on.
hearing of the border officer who was you know
Well,
human trafficking, you know, smuggling drugs in with the drug cartel, you know, one of our officers, and he only got
didn't see
7
that.
years. That's what bothers me. Everyone's watching this court trial and but we have a man who has been smuggling for many years, not just during Biden, but for many years has been smuggling and human trafficking.
But
People,
Kim, hasn't it been going on for a
has
while?
been doing drug smuggling with the cartel, has been helping them get in, you know, through certain places, and he only gets 7 years.
But Kim, isn't he only
Now,
one
where
of
was
se-
all
but,
of the noise at that trial?
But
Where,
Kim, isn't
where
he
was
only
that?
one? Isn't he only one of several? Because I know for a fact that there are people regularly, even here in North Carolina, that get picked up to go to migrant work, and some of those may be illegal. Some of them may not be illegal, but definitely that is something that is going on regularly, and it's been going on for
No, but I'm
decades
just
and
saying
past
that we
30
have a Mark. I don't think you heard me.
there
I
are
don't think you
rumors
heard
right
me.
now
I said
floating
there
that,
was a border patrol officer
No, that's what I'm saying. I heard you.
arrested
I heard you.
for smuggling in and human traffic, and he got paid for human trafficking, and he only got 7 years. He was caught, he was busted, and he only got 7 years. Now that's the problem with our
I
system.
heard you, but
You want to
like I
fix
said,
our system? It's not about the president. It's about the way people behave.
No, but human trafficking
He
is
should
a
be in
major
prison
issue.
for life.
And I don't know if Roger knows this, but we've had other guests on the show. We have actually had some people that have even been on.
But he was
street
also
shows
doing drug smuggling.
Advocates of human trafficking. So, like I said, I think that human trafficking is probably one of the biggest crimes
But
that's out
he
there.
also did drug smuggling.
No, and that's what I'm saying. But even the farmers aren't oftentimes, because a lot of times the farmers are complacent, even with migrant workers and everything. So I think that there's a lot of complicity that goes on. But I'd love to hear Roger's take on this. So, Roger, are you concerned, as Kim is, about the human trafficking and about other things as well? Because
I'm very concerned about it. If I had my way,
Mark, you didn't hear.
No, I heard you, Kim. I want to hear from the guests.
Mark, you didn't hear me. I'm concerned about the fact that they only gave him 7 years.
No, I heard the sentence. The sentence is.
But you didn't hear me. I'm concerned about the fact he only got 7 years.
No, I heard you loud and clear, Kim. I want to hear from the guests.
But I'll
hear
listen
what the
to
guests.
him. But you didn't hear me.
No, I heard you loud and clear, Kim.
Well,
you made that very clear. But I want to hear from the guests what the guests
so
think.
I did not hear or read about this story, but the fact that he got 7 years seems to be a very, very light sentence. I am very, very much against human trafficking and untold amounts of illegal aliens pouring into this country from over 100 countries around the world. And if I had my way, the wall would have been built with all deliberate speed. We would have given more money to the southern border to enforce our border and to have rational immigration policies, and we would still have remain in Mexico. The latest numbers that I've seen are 10 to 12 million illegals that have come into this country, and they have caused great harm to our nation. Okay.
But
And
Roger,
anyone who doubts that, I will debate that all day long.
But Roger, in that same space and everything, how much complicity? Because that's where I get very concerned about it. Is the
Complicity on whose
Who
part,
counts?
Mark?
And if they're counting, legitimately counting, why are we not turning them away? That's what I want to know.
well, that's
Who-
why I'm
who
asking
did
about
that
complicity.
number?
That's what I'm asking about complicity.
Where's that
because
number
there has
found?
to be complicity with the farmers. There has to be complicity with the agency. So I'm asking Roger,
Well, they're
how can we
they're
get past that
legal.
complicity? How can we
If
get
you
past
go
that?
to the
They're legal.
Customs and Border Patrol website,
Mhm.
if you go to the Customs and Border Patrol website, you will see the number of illegals that have been detained, what they call encounters, and what they call gotaways. And the numbers are truly staggering. Okay. And the government is allowing them into the country. They're being placed in towns and villages and cities all across the country. About a month ago, you read about the flights that the Customs and Border Patrol had from South and Central American countries. Over 300,000 additional illegals came into the country. 2/3 of them came to Florida without the knowledge of any of the state or city officials. Okay. This was done in secret behind everyone's back. And it was the Biden administration that is doing that. Okay.
So who counted it? But who's counting?
Customs and Border Protection.
I want to see the
These are
numbers
their
that were
numbers.
legitimately
These
counted
are
person
their
per
numbers.
person.
These are government numbers.
I don't mind immigrants coming into the United
So they
States.
actually saw this person deboard and they
Yeah.
checked.
These
They
were
actually
flights
counted each
operated
person.
by the United
They
States
watched them
government
and
in
counted
into
them.
the United States at all, Roger.
Kim,
I like
these were
immigrants coming
flights
in the United States.
operated by the
I
United
don't
States
mind
government in
Immigrants coming
secret.
into my country that my ancestors were here before anybody except the natives.
Nick,
coming
I
in.
hear what
But
you're
I want
saying,
them
but
to
the amount of
pay to
illegals that have come in is double the amount. The population of Maryland and Missouri combined, 12 million people have come into this country illegally. I don't know, is it a felony or a misdemeanor to come into this country
Hey,
illegally?
Roger, along
You're
those
the
lines,
lawyer, you tell me.
Roger, along those same lines, because you just made a statement that I've also sometimes talked about as well. Is you said that there were about 100 countries that are illegal immigrants. A lot of times when we talk about illegal immigrants, we talk about those from the Latin side or from south of the border.
The
But I know
newspaper
for a
says
fact that there are
104.
folks that are coming from Ukraine. There are folks that are coming from Belgium. There are folks that are coming
China.
from all over. So that's what I was going to ask you. How does this work in your mind about how we are handling illegal immigrants, no matter where they're coming from? I don't care whether they come from
We're
the
not
east or the west.
handling them. We're giving them cell phones. We're giving them money. We're giving them bus rides to the interior of our country.
And across the board, would you agree with that?
Everything that I'm reading tells me that the border situation is out of control. And Biden blames it on Trump and Congress. Congress says, we've already given you the laws. And Biden, in his first week, took away all the border protections and refuses to reinstitute them. He could do so by executive order.
I don't think he took them away. There are no official laws to be enforced. And that's a problem in itself when you write laws that are so broad, so fast. So the Republicans are really bad about that, as well as writing laws and
Illegal
then
immigration
and then
under
going,
Trump
oh,
was a fraction of
do
what it
this
is
to
today,
protect
Kim.
people. But
Kim,
but
look
you've
at the
got to
numbers
read
from the
every
Customs and
law.
Border Protection. Illegal
I
immigration has
understand that, but you've got to
exploded
read
under
every
Biden.
law.
Yeah.
But
No, I don't think it's as bad as you think. And they have returned a lot. They have sent a lot back across the border. I think it just depends on who you listen to. Well, I think it depends on who you listen to and get your information from. And I don't always listen to the news.
Neither do I.
I don't always listen to the news.
Go to the Customs and Border Protection.
But what I do like to do is, Well, I just looked at a few things myself recently, and I just think that there's a lot of things that are misrepresented, and people only look at the title of something and the cover of a book rather than reading it, just like they
Kim,
look at the
these are
title of a
official
bill
U.S.
and rather than
government
reading the
figures.
bill to see all the crap that's in
Okay.
it.
Okay. You
but
could
a lot of
choose
the
You
not
know
to
what?
look
There's
at
a
it.
lot
That's
of
your
things
right.
that people who say official,
Sure. You
but
could choose
I'm
not to
going
look at it.
to,
That's your
what I
right.
would look at is where where do they get the number? Is somebody actually standing there counting each individual person? And if they are, then somebody's not doing their job and putting them back where they belong. Now, catch and release, I have an issue with. And what we need to do is fix the laws. We don't need to build walls. We need to fix the laws. If we fix the
I
laws, then
totally
we can
disagree with you.
enforce
I
them,
totally
and then
disagree with
things
you.
can happen.
Okay.
But until you enforce the laws, even if you build, but
I
I mean
just hope that you
that's
don't
just
live in a
an
border
area that
state
we're
such as
we're
Texas, Arizona, or California and
going
have
to
to deal with these
disagree.
illegals
And
coming
it's
onto
just
your
because
property
I just see things from
and putting your family in danger. I think you have your eyes
my
closed, Kim,
family's.
but that's your right.
You don't even know me. You might
You're right. I
no,
don't.
you don't even. You have no idea who I am and where I'm from. My family is
You're
right
right.
there
I
near
don't.
the Eagle Pass. Okay, my
Yeah.
family's from Texas, so I see a lot more than
And
what
it is
people say.
terrible going
Okay,
on there. And
just
I go to
like,
the Texas governor's website and I read what is going on that the Texas government
have you
tells
gone down
us.
there yourself?
No, I will not go down there. I
Have
will
you gone down
read
there
what
yourself?
the governor tells me. I will look at the websites of the government of Texas and I
Well,
will
the
read what is going on.
governors. Have you ever seen? Okay, so do you know how
Kim, you're
stupid he
breaking up. I
is?
hear
Oh
every
my
other
God!
word.
Did you just see what he did? Did you? But did you just see what he did?
I don't know what you're referring to.
The governor, he pardoned a person who was convicted of murder, pardoned him for shooting another man because his people came and said he had PTSD. So rather than send him to a mental home, he gave him a full pardon. And so that means he can go get a gun and do it again. That's how smart that governor is. So
I did not read
there's
that
not a lot
story,
of
so I
brains in
can't
Texas.
comment on that story. What I'm
Let me
talking
tell you.
about is the illegal immigration
So
going on in
what I would
Texas,
say
California, and
that
Arizona. And if you want to debate that, I will debate that with you. And yes, I believe that walls make good neighbors.
but I
Maybe
want
you don't. That's your right.
I only debate that with people.
Right.
I only debate that with people who are actually there, and I won't debate it with them. We discuss it.
I don't have to go to the
And
border
so
to debate
I
it
work
with
with
you.
people who are physically there,
Right.
seeing things and discussing things. So,
Okay.
and I actually have been to Texas. I will tell you this: the filthiest city I've been to lately is Houston, Texas. Is probably the most disgusting city I've ever seen. And the problem isn't the immigration there. The problem is the amount of homeless on the street. And it's disgusting. It is sad. And they don't clean that up. And I will tell you this, I looked at a lot of the homeless and most of them spoke really good English. So it's not immigrants. So the problem, we have bigger problems. I don't think that they are as big, just like the oil and gas situation that everybody was screaming about. We were never a shortage of gas. The reason why the prices have gone up so high is because the executives wanted an increase in their pocket and they got billions of dollars of profit. And I know this for a fact because I attended the meetings. You weren't there. I know that for a fact. So I see a lot of things that a lot of people don't go see, even people who report news and report things that just aren't true. But they did. They voted to give themselves a raise. They also invested in electric vehicles so that they jacked the gas prices up. And guess what? They win again. People buy EVs. So they win either way,
Kim, I
whether
love
you
the
buy
way that
EVs.
you talk about selective news.
But
I
it had,
just got back
but
from
they
Dallas,
did,
Texas.
but they did,
I just got back from
but
Dallas,
they,
Texas,
no, I
and I
was,
did speak with a bunch of Texans about what is going on. Okay. So, yes, I did go to Texas
Texans,
and I did speak
the
with
real,
people about what was going on. And that was this month that I was there. Okay. So I understand that you have very, very strong opinions and philosophies. Our opinions and philosophies Do not merge. I understand that, but you have your right to your opinions. I have my right to my opinions.
Well,
That's what
my
makes this
opinions are
country
based
great.
on facts.
Yeah.
Right.
The
And
fact that
mine come
you
from
could
facts of
voice your
actually
opinions
meeting the
without getting
people.
killed. That's why this
So
country is great.
well, actually you get killed for your opinions in this country. But if you haven't looked lately, and then the Texas governor will pardon you for it. But hey, if you like it so much, go there. But in Texas, it's not a nice place anymore. But I will say this, that when I sat with the big meeting for the oil and gas industry, and they have it once a year, you hear things and they were thrilled that, hey, we can do this, and the president Biden's going to get the blame for it. And they knew it. So, but the thing is that all of the gas prices and everything was purely, you can go read their reports because they are public information, but nobody wants to do that. They would rather hear Fox News tell them, it's Biden's fault. But they profited big time, and they're not going to go down because they just want that profit in their pocket. And, there was no shortage. And it's funny because I brought that news back right after COVID when I went to the meeting, and everyone didn't believe me. And so when we have people from the meeting come on, they go, oh, by the way, was there really a shortage or not? And they go, no, there wasn't. There wasn't a shortage. So, you can believe what you want because you listen to certain news or you go talk to certain people in Texas. I am in the actual places. Don't want to be in certain places
Kim, we have
anymore
not had a
because there's
discussion
going to be
regarding
some
oil and
bombs
gas.
going off.
We have not had a discussion regarding any shortages or the prices of gas. You just brought that up out of thin air as we were talking about Texas. But I am not going to have a discussion of energy with you because, like you, I do know a bit about that subject, but I will not speak about that today.
Just really quickly, because I know we're winding down and everything. What is your take? Because there's another person, because we were talking about Elon Musk earlier and all along those lines, but I do know there's another billionaire who is very much involved and is from Texas. So, Roger, I just wanted your opinion, and I'm asking your opinion because I don't know it, of Mark Cuban, because I know that his Mavericks might be winning the championship and all along those lines. And
I am not a fan of Mark Cuban
guy.
whatsoever. I am a fan of Elon Musk.
Okay. Why are you not a fan of Mark Cuban, and why are you a fan of Elon Musk?
I do not agree with Mark Cuban's politics. I find them reprehensible. And if he's on, I don't watch television. So I would say if he was on TV, I would shut him off. But I used to watch Shark Tank and I enjoyed it, especially Mr. Wonderful. But although Mark Cuban is to be congratulated because he created such a large net worth, good for him. I'm very, very happy for him. Let him put his mother in a very, very nice house. I'll have nothing to do with him. Thank you very much.
What's your take on Bill Maher? Because I've been reading some interesting articles where some people are feeling that he is
I have no take, I have no opinion on him whatsoever.
None at all. I was just curious because I know some people have felt he's gone one way or the other, because sometimes people feel that people will waffle on their political views.
You are not the first person to say that to me.
Okay. That he may have waffled on some views or another, and all along those lines and everything. Just
Well,
really quick,
you know what? Fortunately, we are at the top of the hour. It has been a fabulous.
Yeah.
Kim, your signal,
we got the verdict in tonight with Trump. Yeah, my signal keeps dying.
Yeah,
but anyway,
thank you
Thank
you
really quick,
everyone for
Roger.
watching us. We're going to have
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to ask Roger really quick.
Mark,
we
can
can
you
tell
wrap
people how he can. Yeah, I'm going to wrap. Roger, can you
And
tell
we'll
folks how
see
they
you
can
guys
meet
Tuesday.
you
Thank you.
and all along
Okay.
those lines?
They could hear more